Yes, I really didn't know where I wanted to go with my spirituality. I felt like different times in my life, different spiritual practices and rituals and beliefs had helped me through some pretty serious things, um, and now I was just kind of grasping at straws, and I wanted to be able to come to a place of getting that spiritual magic back without without having to go through a huge trauma to get there. And so, um, my first thought was to get a master's in divinity, but I'm not really sure that I really want to run a church. And I certainly didn't want to be $90,000 in debt um, at this point in my life. And so I did the sort of community minister certification and the spiritual directors program through Cherry Hill. And I think that I've learned a lot more about myself and my own spiritual path through the spiritual directors program. I'm still not sure that spiritual direction is exactly where I want to go. Um, what I'm also doing our whole life program through UUA, which is pretty much liberal sexual education. And I've always wanted to work with teens and kids. So maybe religious education is more where I want to go with small groups and one-on-one spiritual stuff with queer communities and teens and kids. But I still have time to kind of figure that whole thing out. And I feel like I've got a lot of education and a lot of different modalities. I don't know if modalities are the right word. Religions doesn't seem like the right word either, but I've learned about a lot of different pagan religions. I've learned a lot about a lot of other religions. I've created a very strong network, interfaith network locally, and I'm starting to define my own spiritual path in a way that feels right to me and a way um, that kind of comes from inside rather than outside, if that makes sense. In the past, it's always been people providing me with information and telling me kind of the steps I need to take. Um, and now I feel like I'm taking this huge cauldron of information and I'm being able to pick things up out of it and kind of look at it and move it around and um, decide, hey, is this right for me or is this not right for me? Um, and the big thing that is a really strong ongoing vein in my education and what I've chosen to do for um, my extra projects and stuff is social justice. And whatever I do, I think that that's going to be a big part of what I use this for. Um, and so culturally, I feel like um, I've learned a lot about paganism, and I feel much more comfortable um, with being able to work with people who are pagans and what parts of my own ritual and religion are pagan. But I also have experienced a lot of things related to mysticism and Catholicism and Judaism, and um, and I feel like I can sit back and honor the sacred and all of that, especially when I look at my own story and realize how much my story has my sacred story has changed throughout the year, and how different my ritual is from years ago, how different my beliefs are from years ago, and yet the feeling, the internalization of that sacred is still the same, and still can give me the same goosebumps when when something happens, or the feeling of feeling complete and belonging. Um, that I felt in other faiths and other religions and just other beliefs. And so the one thing that keeps standing out for me, and the more I learn about other religions and other people's way of experiencing the sacred, is that my belief is that it truly all is the same. Mhm. And what I call it, or more importantly, what others call it, doesn't matter. I can still relate to the the feelings and the thoughts and the ideas and the needs behind the words that they're using. Um, and that gives me the opportunity to be someone who can hold space for just about anything. And I appreciate that about myself and feeling more empowered in that since starting this program.